Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, May 6, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Philadelphia 76ers vs Miami Heat. Our team pick is Miami Heat -1. The Miami Heat are averaging 110.3 points on 46.7% shooting and allowing 97.4 points on 44% shooting. Jimmy Butler is averaging 26.5 points and 7.7 rebounds, while Bam Adebayo is averaging 15.6 points and 8.7 rebounds. Tyler Herro is the third double-digit scorer, and Victor Oladipo is grabbing 5 rebounds. The Miami Heat are shooting 34.6% from beyond the arc and 80.6% from the free throw line. The Miami Heat are allowing 29.7% shooting from deep and are grabbing 41.6 rebounds per game. Imagine a scenario where the Heat get extra rest after a relatively easy series with the Sixers. That's what they need to be thinking about ahead of Friday's Game 3. The defense has been superb for Miami, and they have Philly flustered at every turn. James Harden has revealed himself to be little more than a facilitator on the floor for a team that's missing Embiid's 30+ points per game. Help isn't coming against a Heat team that's ranked 5th in the league in defensive efficiency. And unlike past iterations, this Sixers team isn't built to fight fire with fire defensively. The Heat are the number 17 ranked scoring offense in the league, and they just dropped 119 points on the scoreboard in Game 2. There's hope that Joel Embiid could make a return for Game 3, but as of right now, the star center isn't expected to suit up and play. Harden could buy his team some time and perhaps set the stage for a comeback if the Sixers can steal Friday's game. If they can win Game 3, it's completely believable they could tie the series in a Game 4 at home, with Embiid possibly back on the floor. But the offense has to get going somehow. That starts at the top with Harden and trickles down to the rest of the starters. Tyrese Maxey stepped up for 34 points in Game 2, and even Tobias Harris notched 21 buckets under his belt. However, the bench only combined for 19 points. That isn't nearly enough to dethrone the top-seeded Heat. Joel Embiid could make a return to this game. So that's something to really monitor in the lead-up to tip-off. But as of right now, he's still listed as out on Friday night, and the Sixers are still completely outmatched by the Heat. This Miami team's defense might just be the best in basketball. I'm sure the Boston Celtics will have something to say about that considering what they've been able to do to Kevin Durant and even Giannis Antetokounmpo to a certain extent. Opposing teams are averaging 44.3% shooting against Miami on the road, and they're forcing an average 15 turnovers per game. Meanwhile, the Sixers aren't seeing much help from their bench, and their offensive firepower is limited. James Harden hasn't shown much outside of being a facilitator, and it's hard to have faith in Philly when so much is expected of Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. Our total pick is under 209.5 points. The Philadelphia 76ers are averaging 108 points on 47.6% shooting and allowing 105.5 points on 45.2% shooting. Tyrese Maxey is averaging 22.6 points and 4 assists, while Tobias Harris is averaging 19.4 points and 2.8 assists. James Harden is the third double-digit scorer, and Danny Green is dishing 1 assist. The Philadelphia 76ers are shooting 36.2% from beyond the arc and 85.6% from the free throw line. The Philadelphia 76ers are allowing 31.3% shooting from deep and are grabbing 40.3 rebounds per game. After cruising to relatively routine wins in Games 1 and 2, Miami comes into Game 3 playing with house money. All the pressure will be on the 76ers Friday night, allowing the Heat to play their aggressive and loose brand of basketball as they look for the knockout punch. After a poor shooting effort in the opener, the Heat responded in Game 2 by peppering shots from all over the field, en route to averaging better than 51% from the field, including 48% from beyond the arc. Dallas Mavericks vs Phoenix Suns. Our team pick is Dallas +1. And here is why. In Game 2, the Suns' offense picked up right where it left off in Game 1 as Phoenix ran right through the Mavericks' defense on their way to a 129-109 win. The Suns now lead the series 2-0 and have won 4 straight playoff games and 3 straight since the return of Devin Booker. On Wednesday night, the starting backcourt of Devin Booker and Chris Paul combined for 58 points, 12 assists and 10 rebounds in another Suns runaway victory. The duo also combined to be a plus 40 while they were on the floor. Once again, the Suns dominated the glass by out-rebounding the Mavs 34-25. In addition, the Suns had 28 assists as a team compared to just 19 for the Mavs. The Suns shot 64.5% from the field, a team playoff record, and 52% from 3-PT range as they thoroughly picked apart the Dallas defense. The game was relatively tight until Paul took over in the fourth quarter, scoring 14 of his 28 points in the decisive period. Phoenix scored 40 points in the final quarter. The Dallas Mavericks supporting cast has yet to make themselves known in this series and, as a result, it has been Luka Doncic against the Suns and it has put the Mavs in a 0-2 hole. Doncic has been as advertised so far in the series, averaging 40 points per game, 8.5 rebounds and 7.5 assists per game. However, Doncic has also turned the ball over an average of 6 times per game in the 2 losses. The Suns' defensive approach has been to let Doncic dominate the ball, and it has resulted in the disappearance of his teammates. Jalen Brunson, who averaged career highs in points per game and minutes this season and scored 45 points in a win over Utah with Doncic out in the first round of the playoffs, has completely disappeared. Brunson is averaging just 11 points per game and shooting 32% from the field. Overall, while Doncic was a solid 13 of 22 from the field, the rest of the Mavs players shot just 40% and only 2 other players scored in double figures, with Reggie Bullock leading the way with 16 points. It has become apparent in the first 2 games of this series that the Suns are determined to let Doncic be more of a scorer than a distributor. While Doncic continues his rather historic run of scoring in his playoff career, his inability to get his teammates involved has been out of character. For the Suns to climb back in this series, Doncic must become more of a distributor in games. At various times this postseason, both Spencer Dinwiddie and Brunson have been frontline scorers. So far in this series, the duo has been kept in check. The Mavericks are likely to get both players involved early in Game 3 in order to create better floor spacing. Thus far, Doncic has had the ball in his hands nearly the entire offensive possessions, and the Suns have been content with that style of offense. The Mavs will need more ball movement in Game 3. It is now or never for the Mavericks to make the proper adjustments in order to get back in this series. They have tried to win having Doncic as the all-everything on offense, but that approach has failed miserably despite Doncic's personal successes. The Mavericks' first adjustment will be to get the ball out of his hands more frequently to get the Mavs' other players more involved. It is clear that Brunson can be effective with the ball in his hands as well, and he's failed as simply a spot-up shooter thus far in the series. Dinwiddie is also more effective with the ball in his hands. It will be up to Doncic to defer to the other 2 guards and let the game come to him more, rather than to simply dominate the ball on each possession. I am confident that the Mavericks will make that adjustment in Game 3 and expect 20-point games from each of them. Doncic will still get his points, but he needs to see his assist total go up and his turnover total to go down. Both those things can happen if the ball moves more frequently. Expect the adjustment and expect the Mavs, who are 11-2 at home since the All-Star game at home, to avoid falling into an 0-3 hole. Our total pick is over 219.5 points. The Phoenix Suns will have their eyes on going up 3-0 in the series after blowing past the Mavericks in a 129-109 win in Game 2 on Wednesday. Devin Booker drained 5 3-pointers to lead the team with 30 points, Chris Paul added 28 points and 8 assists on 11 of 16 shooting, while Jay Crowder chipped in with 15 points, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. As a team, the Suns shot a sizzling 64% from the field and 13 of 25 from the 3-point line as they battled foul trouble early and trailed going into halftime before they dominated the second half by 71-49 to win comfortably in the end. The Dallas Mavericks really wanted to get the split on the road, but now they will be going back to the drawing board after getting dismantled by the Suns in Game 2. Luka Doncic racked up 35 points with 5 rebounds and 7 assists, Reggie Bullock added 16 points, while Spencer Dinwiddie chipped in with 11 points of the bench, but no other player finished in double figures in scoring. As a team, the Mavericks shot just 45% from the field and 17 of 41 from the 3-point line, but they just had no answer for the Suns, who exploded for 40 points in the fourth quarter to make it a complete blowout. Jalen Brunson couldn't find his rhythm in this one as he scored just 9 points on 3 of 12 shooting, while Dinwiddie finished shooting just 3 of 10 from the field in another quiet game. Phoenix had to beat New Orleans with Devin Booker for a couple of games, but now that he's healthy they are rolling. The Suns had a massive second half to get the win as they trailed at the half, but outscored Dallas 31-23 in the third quarter and 40-26 in the fourth. They were led by Booker, who dropped 30, while Chris Paul added 28 and Jay Crowder chipped in with 15 and Michael Bridges had 11. If Dallas is going to pull off the upset and win this series, they will need to win both games at home to have a shot. The Mavericks played well in the first half, but in the second half, they let the Suns shoot too many open shots as their defense struggled. In Game 2, they were led by Luka Doncic, who dropped 35, while Reggie Bullock dropped 16 and Spencer Dinwiddie had 11, as those three were the only players to have double-digit points. Disclaimer: no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.